let me clear up exactly what I really said. I did say that, but they didn't play what I said before that and after that. This is when I started getting a little ticked off because they were like, hey, y'all talk about this. And so I got with the guys and was sitting on the couch, and I was like, guys, look, man, I understand. I really do. I understand if y'all think I'm here for my career, if I've got, ulterior motives. But listen, if I was here for my career, I've already made 6 episodes. I've got the publicity. I could haul ass, but I'm still here. I still want to be here. I don't want to leave until I know that there's nothing between me and Jillian. That's exactly the whole sentence that was said. But what you heard was just that middle piece. And that's just kind of how they have created this whole facade of BS.
Yeah, and that was one of the quotes that we were definitely going to go over, but I'm glad you explained that. I had heard you say that in another interview, and it is, the funny thing is a lot of people will come, either email me or, on message boards and say, well, they can't edit it if it comes out of your mouth. And it's like, well, yes, they can. They can edit anything they want. They can edit stuff that you said in week 1 and splice it together with something you said in week 6. They can make it sound however they want to make it sound, and it just seems like, in that particular instance that you're talking about, they took out the beginning and they took out the end and they left the middle, which is the incriminating part of Wes. The middle sentence of you saying, I have 6 episodes under my belt. I've got the publicity. I'm going to haul ass. Yeah, of course, that in itself, in a vacuum, those 3 sentences make you sound like an asshole. And,
exactly.
And
they were stopping at the bit, man.
Yeah, and that's what they ran with. But let's get to your day in Spain, everything that aired on Monday. You guys were outside in the after. Can't remember if it was before or after the bike ride. I think it was after the bike ride. You're sitting under the gazebo or whatever, and she accuses you of being distant, not affectionate, not kissing her. A lot of people are saying, like, your body language just showed that you weren't into her. Explain that whole date and what went down on Monday that we saw.
Well, when we're sitting under the gazebo, we had been riding bikes, and then we had a gazebo and had a little picnic out. I was uncomfortable. To be honest with you, I really was, because my hometown date went over like a turd in a punch bowl. I mean, it wasn't fun. It wasn't good. There was nothing good about it. Jake showed up. They treated my family like crap. And at this point, I hadn't seen Jillian for 2 weeks. So, over 2 weeks, actually. And she's already been on a date with 3 different guys in Spain. So, it's kind of an uncomfortable situation when you don't know how she wants you to react. I didn't know, honestly, if she wanted me to be there or if the producers wanted me to be there. I didn't know. I was just in such, like, a tug-of-war inside of myself, like, what does she want me to do? Does she want me to kiss her? Well, things kind of went kind of sour at my hometown date. She did give me the rose, though, so maybe she does. So, it was just it was kind of uncomfortable for me, I will admit. But, it's difficult when you're in the real world. If you were dating a girl that you knew was having sleepovers with guys in Spain, that would be a little weird for you.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I was at when I was in Spain.
Let's talk about real time here for a second in terms of Spain. You said when you met Jillian in Spain, you hadn't seen her for 2.5 weeks. When we saw your hometown date on television, you were shown as the 5th hometown date. Were you actually the 5th one to get it, or they just showed it out of sequence? Or do you know?
I have no clue.
Okay.
What I got. No.
Okay. Do you know, in Spain, obviously, on Monday's episode, you, between Reed, Ed, and Kipton, they showed you, she saw you 4th. Do you know if that was true, that she actually saw you 4th?
She probably did see me 4th because I got real sick, and I wasn't able to go to Spain. That's why I was gone that's why I didn't see her for like over 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, I don't know how long the other guys have been there. I'm sure that they were there way before I was.
And let's talk about that dinner date in Spain. There's a big kind of different story to tell based on what we saw on Monday, as opposed to what you said really happened during that dinner date. Now, I want you to explain that.
Right. You know, during the dinner date, you know, I got out of the car and I walked up to her. She looked great, you know. And we hugged, and she was telling me how much she liked my shirt that I had on, and it was kind of funny because I bought it in a vintage shop in L.A. and I was like, man, I wonder if she's gonna like this, if she's gonna laugh at it. But she liked it. We started walking up, and we were going to dinner, and you know, it was all smiles. Everything was good. We sat down, and we started having dinner. I thought the dinner date was going really good. We were talking about things, and you know, I was explaining to her, and
you were being affectionate as well during this dinner date.
My hand, I was facing her, and I was kind of leaning towards her the whole time. My hand was underneath the table. We were holding hands. I was telling her, I was like, Jillian, you know, if I didn't have any feelings for you, I don't have to be here. I could leave right now, but I'm here, and I'm here because I want to be here, and I don't want to leave until I know that there's nothing between us. And she started telling me that, and she kind of teared up, and she said, but Wes, why haven't you kissed me? You haven't shown me an affection all day. And I just told her, I said, to be honest with you, Jillian, I don't know what to do, you know. I don't know if I should kiss you. I don't know if I should stand off. I don't know how you're feeling right now. I said, you haven't leaned in to kiss me either, you know, and this is a two-way street. And she said, well, Wes, what if you're the one that I'm falling in love with? And she said, and I'm not getting any affection from you. And I was just like, listen, I tried to comfort her and say, I want to be here. I don't want to leave. But I feel like I'm in quicksand with you. It's like every time I'm with you, there's something new that pops up. There's something that jumps out of the closet and I have to deal with. And I don't understand why I'm having to deal with these things. But I feel like I'm in quicksand. I feel like I can't get out. I said, you've got to help me out. You know? Let me know if this is real. Let me know if we've got something here. I said, you're dating 3 other guys right now. I said, number one, that's weird in a nutshell. But, you know, I don't want to leave. And I told her that. And she leaned in and she kissed me. And they probably didn't show that on TV.
No.
So,
I mean, what we saw on Monday was that date was absolutely miserable. The dinner date was talking about nothing but you guys discussing Laurel, discussing the whole girlfriend issue, and then we see you say, you know, she asked you specifically, and this is what we saw on Monday, she asked you specifically, what exactly did you tell Jake? And then you said your spiel about, well, I was telling him my girlfriend, I mean ex-girlfriend, and then right after you said that sentence, they show a face shot of her, they do a face shot of you, and then all of a sudden in comes in the waiter with the date card, and she reads it, and you're like, yeah, we should go up to the room. Obviously, that's not the way it transpired, because if all that happened, if the whole date was so negative and dinner was so negative, you would have never suggested, yeah, I think we should stay in the room together. So explain exactly how that went down.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I actually stopped watching the show because it makes me sick to even watch any of it. So I don't even watch it.
Okay.
But I remember we had dinner for about an hour and a half. Now, they show like 5 minutes of our date?
If that, yeah.
Okay. We had dinner for about an hour and a half. And I'm a practical joker. I'm a joker. Things roll off me like water on a duck's back. And I was trying to make a joke of the whole Jake thing, you know, and just try to get away from it. And I remember telling her, yeah, you know, Jake's talking about my girlfriend. And I kind of looked at her and I winked. And she started laughing, and I started laughing. And I was like, yeah, my ex-girlfriend. You know I don't have a girlfriend. I said, so that whole deal was like, it wasn't like, ooh, I just slipped up and got busted. I mean, that was pieced together. And
that's what we saw. What they showed was, ooh, he got busted. He just admitted on camera that he had a girlfriend, or slipped up and said, oh, I should have said ex instead of girlfriend. And then they delivered the date card 3 seconds after that, and we hear you say, you know, yeah, I think we should. And everyone that's watching is like, how could this guy even suggest that? This date was horrible. But you're saying that it was an hour and a half, and what they showed was less than 5 minutes of it. And they focused on the negative part of it. Right. Well,
but you know what? I promise you, if I thought the date was going as bad as y'all saw it on TV,